The first college, the first school at my institution to adopt Canvas was our College of Allied Health Sciences, and that was one of the things that we had to do was we had to simulate NCLEX for the students. And with Canvas, we were able to do that because you can do very simple things like delivering one question at a time, pulling questions from question banks. Once students have submitted all of their assessment, you can actually, let me back up and just show you this real quick while we're talking about it. Once students have submitted their assessments, you can actually run quiz item analysis reports here. And you can get things like discrimination indices, difficulty indices, alphas, KR20s, all of that kind of stuff. And it's all presented to you question by question in beautiful charts and graphs, okay? And once you have evaluated that item analysis, you can actually go back into the quiz and you can throw out a question and Canvas will regrade that assessment, okay? Or if you've gone in and you need to rekey an assessment after students have submitted, you can do that, and Canvas will let you regrade the assessment, which is really nice. Okay. So let's take a look at a quiz here. With the Canvas quiz, you have all of the kind of the normal stuff. You know, you can do multiple attempts, you can randomize questions, randomize answers. You can use Respondus Lockdown Browser if you'd like. You can use tools like remote proctoring tools like ProctorU. You can use identity verification tools like Verificient with this. You can restrict using a password if you want to. Oh, you can even restrict it to a computer lab. So if you have a testing center, you can actually get your IT department to set it up so that students can only access that assessment from that computer lab. So that's all a part of the quiz configuration. Sorry, was there a question?
We were thinking out loud. We thought that might be
okay.
great.
Good. Think out loud more. I'm so needy, y'all. I need your feedback. Okay. So once you've got that all set up, let's actually look at the different question types. All of these question types can be are all mechanically graded. Here's a multiple choice question. I'll just use this as an example. Where again you have the rich content editor for the question body, so this can be an image, that kind of a thing. But notice down below where you have your answers, that we can actually pop that open and we have a rich content editor there as well. Okay, so that if you are, let's just say that you're maybe the School of Nursing or something like that, and you need for students to look at 4 different ways of measuring out a dosage. Okay. And one of those is the correct way of doing it. You can actually have them watch 4 different video snippets and pick the one that's the correct demonstration. Okay? So you have a rich content editor for the question and for the answer. And as you can see, you can provide, oops, let me close that on you guys. And as you can see, you can provide rationale. Okay? So if they get the question correct or incorrect, you can provide rationale for that. And then you can actually have a bubble over here where you just provide rationale, whether they get it correct or incorrect, it doesn't really matter. So you can do all of that here on this question. And again, all of these are mechanically graded except for the essay question, which that does have to be manually assessed. All of these questions can be used for bonus points. Points can be positive or negative. So you have a lot of flexibility when you start creating your questions. The other thing that's really neat about this assessment tool here, let me back out of here. Down the bottom, cancel. Do you ever have students who are given like an accommodation, maybe limited vision, that kind of thing? So check this out. If you need to give a student maybe a 45-minute extension for an accommodation, you can just click on the statistics. Moderate quiz. So if a student gets an accommodation, you can just click and you can say, hey, this student gets an extra 45 minutes or an extra 60 minutes. Okay. Or maybe a student calls you up and says, oh, my grandmother passed away again. I'm sorry I missed your test. Can I come back in and take it? You can manually unlock it and let them come back in and take it if you're that kind of a person. Now, here's the thing. Does anybody in here in the nursing department? Because I don't want to say anything tacky. Oh, you're all, really? Okay. I'm glad you're way back there. Okay, so I have at least 8 rows to get out for. Okay. So here's the thing that I've noticed about nursing and health science, okay? They're really needy and they're really fussy. And their students are like on the edge, wound up super tight all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And whenever they go in, has this ever happened, y'all? Like the students go into like a computer lab to take a test, like a major high stakes test, and something happens to the computer and they lose it, right? Like super meltdown, okay. Well, one of the things that you're gonna love about Canvas is that as a student is taking a quiz, we are actually giving them feedback all the way through it. Let me pull up a preview of this just so you can see what I'm talking about. We're saving everything that they do as they are doing it, okay? So what I mean by that is that whenever you click an answer, just like that, we save it just in that instant, okay? So that means if the power goes off, they don't lose their work, okay? And then down at the bottom, notice right here where it says quiz saved at 10:40 a.m. So we show them the last time that this quiz was automatically saved, okay? Also, if we lose the internet connection, and I'm not going to do that here, if the connection gets dropped, we'll actually give them a little red message at the top that says they are no longer connected to the internet, okay? They can keep working, but we're going to keep giving them that message. Now, they're not going to lose their work because the next time the computer connects to the internet, it will save their work back to the server. Does that make sense? Okay, so it's a lot more stable than some of the systems that we've used in the past, okay? Now, I just want to stop right here because I know this is a really, really big deal. Any questions about assessment? Yes, ma'am.
How are the tests uploaded?
Oh, that's a really good question. So we have, you can create quizzes manually if you want to. And what I've found with my faculty is that if they're not used to using something like Respondus or ExamView or something like that, they prefer to just do that in Canvas, right? Because it is very easy. If you use Respondus, Respondus integrates with Canvas, so you can just upload straight from Respondus into Canvas. If you use like the test bank network or something like that, or maybe you have like a Word document that has all of your questions in it, you can just upload that to Respondus, and Respondus will convert it, and you can then push that into Canvas. So you have that path that way. We also integrate with all of the publisher material. So anything that you get from a publisher, they can get it to you in Canvas format, and that can be uploaded in that way as well. And I've even done this before. If they didn't have it in Canvas format, I've gotten it in Blackboard format, and because Canvas converts stuff from Blackboard to Canvas, I've just uploaded it that way. Okay, so.
Is Respondus extra? I just don't know anything about that.
Oh, do y'all have a Respondus license here?
We did, but it's not compatible with our Blackboard.
It's not compatible with your Blackboard version? So many of us aren't. So Respondus is, as you'll recall, Respondus is an authoring tool that you can use for creating assessments. And Respondus has things like the Respondus Test Bank Network, all kinds of resources where instead of you having to create all of the questions, they have actually partnered with the publishers already. So you can actually go in there and browse for your text, and it'll have all of the test bank created for you already, and then that just gets published right into Canvas. Does that make sense? Yeah. And then what the price is for it, I don't know. I'm going to say less than $1 million. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Is there any other way to create the Word document besides using the Respondus?
There is not. There isn't. In fact, there are only 2 learning platforms, and both of them have been retired, that would consume a Word document. So unless someone has come up with something new, to my knowledge, there's not another way to go. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have the ability to create hotspot questions?
We're working on it. We're working on hotspot questions. That we had so many requests for other question types like formula questions, calculated questions, stuff like that, that we got all of those done first. We're working on the hotspot question right now. Yeah.
We have requests.
We are.
I know.
We need those.
Inflex wants them to get us.
Yeah, are they using hotspot questions now on Inflex? Okay. They weren't about 5 years ago whenever we were doing that. We were just doing RN and DSN programs, and they weren't using them then. So I guess they kind of.
There are other types too.
Okay. Yeah. And it may be possible to kind of replicate that using some of the question types. I would just go in and try it, just kind of see if I can find it. I would. Okay. So you remember I mentioned that we have a conferencing tool, right? So let me show you that we have here this lovely conferencing tool. We call it conferences. And here it is. So you can go in and you can just click to create a new conference. And whenever you do that, when it's time to start the conference, just click join. And this is going to fire up our web conferencing tool. So it's going to load up all the different widgets that you need. And you'll be able to do like a chat box. You can share audio, you can share video, you can do PowerPoints, you can share your desktop. All of the students who are in here, they have to raise their hands before they can speak. But they can share their webcams as well, their audio and video as well. So anytime that you want to do office hours, you can do them remotely. Or if you want to do online office hours with your online students, you can use this conferencing tool to do that. Now, another thing about this conferencing tool that I think you guys are really going to like is the ability that Canvas has to group your students together into like student groups, project groups. Okay. So here I am at my roster. So I'm seeing now all of the students who are in my course. You'll notice here at the very top that I have some tags. I have a tag here that says everyone, so this is all of the students that are in my course. But I've actually created a group set, and I'm calling this the group discussion for Kings of America. I'm going to go ahead and click on that set of groups, and you can see now that I've created two groups within that set. I've created the Jedi and the Ninjas, okay? And I can just drag and drop to put my students into the different groups, you see. I can also have Canvas automatically break my students up into groups, or I can let my students sign up for groups. So if you like to get your students to do group work together, then you can do this kind of stuff. So presentations that need to be done, all that kind of stuff, you can break your students up into groups to do that. So let me show you what happens when you break your students up into groups. Let me show you the Jedi group. Here it is. You'll notice that it looks an awful lot like a course, but you have all of the collaboration tools. So the ability to post announcements, work on content pages together, share files. They even have the online web conferencing tool and the collaboration tool. Okay, so that is all a part of their project group. So whenever you break your students up into groups, they'll be able to use this to work on their stuff together. Okay? So, the last thing that I want to show you guys is under the settings tab. You're going to love it. Apps. Sure. So the web conferencing, it is a synchronous tool, okay? So it is live, but you can enable recording for that. So if you want, this is going to be like a study group, you want to record that so students can come back and watch it again later, you can do that. Okay? So third-party tools. We love to use third-party tools. When I say third-party tool, I'm talking about anything. So publisher resources, lecture capture tools, oh my goodness, the list just goes on and on and on, things like Box. All of these different tools you can integrate with your Canvas course with just a click. Okay? So you can extend Canvas with just a click using these. Does anybody in here use like a My Labs product, like My Chem Lab, My Math Lab? My Math Lab? Huh? What's that? Okay, which one do you use? Okay, so let me show you what it looks like when you integrate those tools with Canvas. Because Canvas has a really seamless integration point with all of those different tools, you'll see a tab appear in your course navigation. So you see here I've got this history timeline. Whenever you click on that tab, when the students click on that tab, rather than taking them out to a different website or asking them to put in a username and password or anything like that, because of the type integration that Canvas has with these third-party tools, it will open up the tool right inside of Canvas, just like you see here. Okay? And now the students can go in and they can play around with whatever that third-party tool is. They can click and interact and all that kind of stuff. What's really nice about it is that if there are scores generated, like if it's math lab, and scores get generated by the activities there, those scores will automatically go back and populate your Canvas gradebook. Okay. Oh, we didn't even talk about the gradebook, did we? You guys want to see the gradebook? Okay. Doesn't your gradebook make you feel warm and fuzzy? Don't you love the gradebook? What is it called? It's called Grade Center, right? In Blackboard? Yeah. So let me talk about grades really quickly in Canvas. So I think it's pretty safe bet that if I were a student in one of your courses, I could sit down with your syllabus, and you tell me if I'm wrong about this. I could sit down with your syllabus and with my scores, and I could use the two of those things together to figure out what my grade is. Is that pretty safe bet? Okay. All right, so here's how we do this in Canvas, okay? You can sit down with your syllabus and use this assignments tab to essentially program your syllabus in Canvas. And here's what I mean by that. On my syllabus, I have 3 different types of grades. I have participation grades, research paper grades, and major exam grades. On my syllabus, I weight those grades. So participation are worth 20% of the total, research paper worth 35% of the total, and so on. On my syllabus, it also says that I drop the lowest participation score, but I never drop pop quiz number 1. Okay? So I'm able to program all of my syllabus into Canvas. So far, so good, right? Once I've done that, Canvas will start to populate all of the scores, either through discussion topics or quizzes or things that I put into the SpeedGrader. And all of that goes into this lovely gradebook that you see on the right here. Okay, so there's our gradebook. Okay, doesn't look like much, does it? But watch this. If you want to go in and type grades into the gradebook, all you have to do is just click on a cell and start typing in a value. And then as you hit enter, it's going to move you down to the cell below it. You can use the arrow keys to move around the gradebook, to move around the grid. You don't ever have to click save. Canvas is saving all of this work for you as you go. Okay. Wouldn't it be great if you could like drag and drop those columns or reorder them? Just drag and drop to change where the columns appear in the gradebook. Okay. What if you want to hide some of these columns that are in the gradebook? All you have to do is click and drag across and collapse those columns down. Very, very easy, right? So you can keep your gradebook nice and tidy. Whenever you click this little drop-down menu that's on the column header for any of the columns in the gradebook, notice that you get a menu that lets you do cool stuff like send messages to students who haven't submitted yet or students who've made certain scores. So you can very quickly send messages to those students. And remember, those messages are going to follow those notification channels that you've already set up, that they've set up in Canvas. And then this is one of my favorite features right here, mute assignment. That actually should probably say mute student. Because what it does is, have you ever had those times when the students submitted their big paper and then they called your office 5 minutes later? Have you graded it yet? What did I get? Right. So whenever you click on mute assignment, what that's going to do is it's going to give the student feedback on their grade sheet to let them know that you're still grading it. Right? So they're not going to be able to leave you a comment. They're not going to see the grade or anything. They'll actually just see feedback on the screen saying, this assignment is still being graded. And what's really nice about this is that because you have programmed your syllabus into Canvas, once we have those scores, we can actually come in and we can calculate what the grade is based on the scores. So now students can see their grade in real time. What's really nice about this is that as a student, I can come in here to my grade sheet and I can click and say, what do I need to make on the midterm to make an A in this course? I can just click on this cell and type in what I think I'll make. It'll show me the what if scenario, right? So now students won't call you and say, hey, what I need to make an A in the course. They can actually test that themselves, okay? All right. So those are some of the highlights, some of the big high-level things about Canvas. There is one other thing that I do want to show you guys that I think you'll really like, and that is analytics. We all love analytics stuff. So let me pull up my analytics information for you here. You're going to love this. Okay, here we go. Okay. So one of the things that we know for sure about Canvas is that whenever an institution adopts Canvas, the rate of adoption is significantly higher than their previous LMS. And I think you kind of see why. It's very, very reliable, it's very easy to use, and so what we have found is that faculty and students use Canvas a lot more than they did with previous systems. And we have the data that proves that. So what we do is we take that data and we crunch it into really pretty graphs that help you make really good decisions. And that is what we call analytics. So this is my course dashboard, okay? So just imagine that this is your course. You get to your office in the morning, you want to see how your students are interacting with your course, and you can do that very quickly. We're going to show you all of the activity over time. So we're going to show you in orange when students have participated, and in blue when students have viewed content. Below that, this is the timely completion of assignments. So you can see at just a glance which assignments are being turned in on time versus the assignments that are being turned in late or not at all. Okay? And this is my course dashboard, so this is going to show me data for all of my students. We have grade distribution below that, and then below that we have the list of all of the students that are in the course, and you can see immediately their page use participation and their timely completion with their current score, okay, with their current average. So let's just say that you see, well, Fred Flintstone, he has an 86, and I just want to click on him and see what are his analytics. So you can do that, and now we're going to show you just the student's analytics. So again, page view and participation information, so you can see how frequently he's interacting with the course. Below that, we have communication. Oh my gosh, this probably never happens at the W, but where I'm from, students will throw teachers under the bus in a heartbeat, okay? I tried sending her an email 10 times and she never responded back to me, okay? Well, with Canvas, notice here those orange bubbles. Those are messages from a student to a teacher. The blue bubbles are messages from the teacher to the student. So now you actually have your documentation where, you know, if somebody comes pulling your chain, you know, hey, the student said that you never were in touch with them, because Canvas is keeping a record of every single communication that you have with that student, you can actually just pull this up and say, oh, well, I have the document that proves that I did. So down below that, we have all of the timely completion data, all the graph here, and then we have all of your grade distribution below that. Now here's where it gets really good. So let's just say that that you're doing like that crossover, that RN to BSN crossover stuff, and you want to know how are all of my students doing in this program. Well, we take all of this data and we roll it up. We roll all of this data that you're seeing here, all up to that. This is the program or department or college or school dashboard. Okay? So for that program, for your RN to BSN program, you can see how many courses, teachers, and students you have in that program. You can see how frequently they're interacting with it. You can see the kinds of tools that are being used. And best of all, you can see the grade distribution. So at a glance, you can see the real-time grade distribution for all of the students that are in that program. And that's all part of the Canvas analytics. And it comes with Canvas. So everything that you've seen this morning comes with Canvas, right? There are no add-ons or no extras. It all just comes with Canvas. So we are at the top of the hour. So let's take what time we have left to answer any questions that you may have. Yes?
In the group application where you group students, you didn't mention anything how students can respond in that area. Are they able to also upload PowerPoints and interactive kind of engagement in their discussions on the group area?
Yeah, that's exactly what that area is for, actually. So whenever you group the students together and they go into their groups, they will all have, everybody who's in the group will have the ability to post a provided discussion, create pages, upload documents, share documents, all that kind of stuff. That group area is strictly designed for collaboration.
But for media, will it allow media upload?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, yeah, yeah. Media is all over campus. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Other questions?
Chase, one of the questions that we had a lot from faculty is how easy is it going to be to move content from, say, Blackboard to Canvas?
Yes.
And then the next question is, as we move
hard it is? I mean, it is an uphill battle all the way. You ready? All right, so whenever you get ready to move content from say Blackboard over to Canvas, all you have to do is click on your course setup checklist and then click to import content. On the import content page, watch this. You can select the kind of content that you want to import. So we'll just select Blackboard. And from here, all you have to do is upload your Blackboard zip file, and Canvas will process it and create a Canvas course based on your Blackboard zip file. It's that easy, okay? If you want to move a course from one semester to the next, all you have to do is click copy a Canvas course, and you pick which course you want to bring in, like let's just say U.S. History. Now this is really cool because you can select which content you want to bring in. So maybe you don't want to bring everything in from that Blackboard course, or maybe you don't want to bring everything in from your previous semester's course. You can do that. But check this out. What if you need to adjust the due dates? So we're in the spring semester right now, which was from January, 15th over to May 5th. And then we're going to, let's do this for August 21st to December 7th. Okay? And Canvas will automatically adjust all of the due dates for everything as it's bringing that stuff in. Okay? But it gets better. What if last semester this was a Monday, Wednesday, Friday? We can convert Monday to Tuesday. We can convert Wednesday to Thursday. Canvas will do those date substitutions for you as well. Okay? So that's really all there is to it, right? Really, really, really simple. Other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Not to bash our current LMS, but the mobile environment, meaning if you're working on your iPad, working on your phone, is a little less than desirable. What is the mobile environment like for Canvas? I know we talked about this free app, but how easy is it to use?
Yeah, so what I would encourage you to do is download it for free, okay? And it's Canvas for iOS if you have, for an iPhone, and it's Canvas for Android if you're using that. And it is probably one of the most used mobile apps that we've ever built. You can actually complete an entire course using that mobile app. Okay, so you can access all of the course content, you can access all of your videos, all of your assignments, all of your quizzes. You can submit assignments using the mobile app. Okay, and it's really, really easy to use. I would love to show you, but my thing is not connected to the network, so I can't. So I would encourage you to download it and just play around with it. Students really, really like our mobile app. Yeah. I was at, where was I doing? Oh, I was in the airport the other day, and I saw a kid wearing a UCF backpack, University of Central Florida backpack, and they're a Canvas school. And I just walked up to him and I said, "Hey, how do you like Canvas?" And he says, "Well, it's okay." He says, "But I do it all on my cell phone." So yeah, so students really, really love to use that.
But one of the things I'm finding, because with the mobile environment being like it is now, it's delaying me responding to messages back to the students because it's so clunky.
Okay.
I want something that I can respond back to students immediately.
Perfect.
When they have
Perfect.
questions.
Yeah. So what we can do is after we get finished in here, let me pull it up for you online. Okay, just because we can't put it on the projector, but you can come up and I'll show it to you. And anybody who wants to see it, I'll pull it up online and you can see it. So then I'll show you how to do messages. It's really cool. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Simple question. When you were charging for modules, publish the module, you publish by date?
Yeah, you can actually go into any of the module settings right here. And one of the, right here where it says edit, and one of the options there is the date. So I was doing it by event, right? I was doing sort of an event-driven release. You can do date-driven release using that same screen. Yeah. Other questions?
Are the courses populated for a banner as students register for the class?
They are, yeah. And we're going to be talking with Mike and the team team later on this afternoon to see how we can even, maybe enhance that a little bit.
And you print out of your e-portfolio?
Yeah, you can. Anything that's in Canvas, if you do file print, okay, we actually apply what we call a print template to it. So you know how like a normal website, if you do file print, how it has all the menus and the backgrounds and all that kind of stuff? Whenever you do it with Canvas, we actually remove all of that. So if you wanted to print an e-portfolio page or even just a content page or whatever, you do file print and it's actually going to print it out just like a regular document.
Do you have restrictions on students printing, like testing?
Well, if you use the lockdown browser, absolutely. Yeah. Because what the lockdown browser will do is it puts the computer into kiosk mode. So what you'll want to do is make sure that the only way your students can get to that test is if they're using something like the lockdown browser or a password or something like that. So that way they don't have access to it in an environment where they can print. Okay. So that's, we face that same challenge as well. And so we just require the lockdown browser for all of those tests.
Is there built-in lecture capture, or are you having to go through one of the external apps?
Yeah, so we don't have lecture capture built in. We do integrate, though, very seamlessly with tools like Ensemble, Panopto, Echo 360, things like that. I just worked with Rice University to integrate with their Ensemble, and it's seamless. You just have a little button on your toolbar where you click to do your lecture capture or to even insert it into a content page. So I don't know if you guys have lecture capture right now, but I believe that might be a part of what you're evaluating. So you can integrate any of those tools with Canvas. Yes, sir.
I'm going to ask a quick question about lockdown browser. I don't use it. Can you still print screen?
Print screen?
Print screen. Can you hit print screen button, say what they have, and then exit that lockdown?
No, not with lockdown browser. No, the lockdown browser will put the computer in a kiosk mode. The only thing they can do is interact with the assessment. Any other questions? Well, thank you guys for coming to hang out with us this morning. Thank you very much. We're doing another presentation for faculty at 3 o'clock. So if you want to come back, if you think of a question, come back and ask us. And if anybody wants to see mobile, I'll pull up my mobile device right now.
I've got them set up here on these two, on both Android and
Well, there you
iOS,
go.
so
Look at Brandon's got them all set up for you there. So yeah, so
I'll walk it back to you.